creepy and cool TikToks that will blow your mind. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Can we just get the whole truth about planet Earth?
You see this video of that 13-year-old crashing out after the mom took away her daughter's cell phone, and while she was at work, the little brother took this video of her taking a pickaxe to the family pickup truck. That truck has to be at least $55,000, and she makes numerous holes in the back of the bed of the pickup to justify her rage that she no longer has a cell phone. And something tells me she needs more than just her cell phone taken away. Okay? I hope this mom went down to the police station, filed a police report, and had her daughter processed. Because you need to teach your daughter that your actions have serious consequences, especially when it involves taking a gardening tool and damaging family's property. Like, girl, honestly, be so for real.
Don't let the police involved. Hey, African parents, how are you?
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's best friend owns Dua Lipa, Cardi B, Lil Uzi Vert, Kodak Black, Jack Harlow, Megan Thee Stallion, and many more, all controlled by Craig Kallman, who runs Atlantic Records. Atlantic Records is run by AMG, which is run by Elliot Grange. Elliot Grange is the son of Lucius Grange, who happens to work with Drake and all of these famous celebrities. AMG is owned by Warner Music Group, whose chairman is Michael Linton. Warner Music Group is owned by Access Industries, which is a holding company owned by Len Blavatnik. Guess what everyone in this video has in common?
Kanye was right.
Oh no. Oh no, 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 no.
Oh my goodness.
Why are you doing this? So in India, there is a two-faced cow, and the locals are worshipping it as a god. Oh, you son of a ballbag. What would Jesus do? What would Muhammad say when they see you worshipping a cow? Now I know that everyone's got their own traditions and their own religions. But why is it that in India they have 33 million gods? Why can't you just pick one? Now I don't know if this is a birthing defect or a product of a cloning accident, but you can't just go around worshipping disabled animals, brother. I mean, just look at it. It looks like it came directly from Satan himself. You guys really know how to find good in any situation. So if there's any Indians out there, anyone that follows this religion, can you please tell me why you're worshipping the cow?
So did you guys hear?
This is our only king. You shall not worship false idols.
On the coast of Hawaii, the day after Russia got hit with that 8.8 earthquake. Now remember, y'all, the earth must be shifting, the earth must be moving, because how is this possible, right? They got hit with a tsunami the day after Russia got hit with that 8.8 earthquake, and this showed up. They talking about 26 of these petroglyphs showed up the next day. Here's that number 26 again, y'all, and this is what it looks like from an aerial view. You can tell this thing has literally been engraved into the rock. So meaning at one point in time, was this at a higher elevation, y'all? Was this at a higher elevation?
Assuming all of you have seen the photos and videos of the petroglyphs that have recently become visible in Hawaii, but here's the crazy thing. They allegedly resemble the same type of petroglyphs that were photographed in the 90s on Mars and were released in leaked photos.
So I don't know if you guys have seen the second Moana, and the second Moana, it takes place in Hawaii, right? Now, the premise of second Moana is basically Moana is now introduced to her new extended family. And guess what tells her this? The water, y'all. Well, now the water displaced, and it's telling us something. Like we're about to meet our family. Because look at this, y'all. Isn't this?
We believe that it's our ancestors are telling us something about the Aina, because the land is our family.
There's 26 petroglyphs that we've seen, and most of them are anthropomorphic, human figures. Partial, full, some of them have their arms up, some are down, some of them are opposite, some of them have fingers.
So is the water telling us we're getting ready to meet our family? And did you guys see this in Newport Beach, California, y'all? What is going on, man? Are we being infiltrated? Y'all know that the water is the mother, and the mother is talking. So is she letting us know we're getting ready to meet the extended family? Please let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Y'all know we're in this shift, y'all. And let's continue to get it. Like, follow, share for more videos like this. Peace in.
Aliens do not exist. They are demons and entities from other dimensions.
Yeah, it's recording. Fuck. Hey guys, I feel an obligation to our country, to the world, to share this information with you. Right now, I'm in hiding at an Airbnb, so that I at least had enough time to get this out to you guys. Last Friday, let me back up. I have worked at the Pentagon for the last 7 years in data analysis. And last Friday, as I was leaving work like I normally do, I got an email that I wasn't supposed to get. There is another senior officer here at the Pentagon with the same first and last name, but with a different middle initial. And it got sent to the DOD email to me instead of him. And according to policy, I wasn't even supposed to open it, but I did. And I have to share this information with everybody before it's too late. I'll just put on the screen. All right, so I will leave it up on the screen for a few moments so you guys can read it. Obviously, the part that stands out is indicating that some form of contact with sentience has been made, and that the estimated current approach date of 29 October. Obviously, I will lose my job once this gets out. Honestly, I will remain in hiding for as long as possible just for my own safety. But I didn't feel right knowing this information and knowing the implications for all of us and not sharing this with everyone. So do with it what you will, and Godspeed.
What if he's telling the truth?
Have you seen the video of the alien walking the streets of Atlanta? Don't know what I'm talking about? Take a look at this.
Space guy, man. Hey, bro, hey, can you tattoo alien flag? Yeah, I guess, right? Hey, yeah, but I'm trying to get 2 teardrops, but you know, I took out the whole solar system, but hell, you come out, boy. You know I need a teardrop big time, boy. What's that, Zola? Yeah, but RP Zola, you know what, going 12 RP that, but get what?
People in Atlanta are starting to believe that we have a real alien living amongst us and walking amongst us.
Yeah, but RP Zola, you know what, going 12 RP that, but get what? The folk, hey, boy, I'm still stepping behind that shit. Hey, look, man. Shit, y'all look at this shit.
So if you're from the Atlanta area, let me know if you've run into the alien from Atlanta, and what are your thoughts? Real, or is that some type of costume? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
How did he even put on his shirt? His head is too big.
Alright, don't mess up your laptop. I'm telling you guys right now, doing this right here is a massive hell no. I don't care how much money somebody offers. This TikTok video that I got tagged in shows this guy sitting in a car acting extremely erratic, and it's quite clear he's very freaked out. Now, according to the description on this video, this guy ended up consuming something known as Salvia divinorum. And salvia is a plant where you really need to have a strong mental capacity in order to take it because of its psychoactive properties. If you were to take it, obviously the results are going to be different for everybody. A lot of people will just have a mild experience, whereas other people have mind-bendingly terrifying experiences. Probably the worst part about it, though, is it's said to be able to distort people's perception of time, so people have claimed that they've turned into inanimate objects for what felt like thousands of years. Like, imagine thinking that you lived as a doorknob for 1,000 years. It would be awful. So yeah, if anybody ever offers you to partake in this plant, I would just say no. It's not a great idea.
How long does it last, though?
This man has lived with his own mother for over 20 years, but when people found out what the two of them were doing inside that house, it was so disturbing that the police were called immediately. Jonas, a 30-year-old man,
That's 30. He looks 50.
Lived with his mother in an isolated house in Texas. The house was dark, filthy, and filled with an unbearable stench. Neighbors avoided even walking past it. For years, no one had stepped inside. They had no friends, no relatives, just the two of them, living together since forever. But in recent months, something started drawing attention. Strange noises, muffled screams, and shadowy figures spotted through the cracks in the windows. Until one day, a city inspector was sent to the property. When he opened the door, what he saw made him run out in panic. What Jonas and his mother were doing inside that house was so vile, so absurd, that even the police officers on the scene were left in shock. Want to know what they discovered? Comment family for part 2.
I hate this kind of video.
John Shrek McPhee, you are a master instructor and subject matter expert, also known as the Sheriff of Baghdad, or Shrek. You are a retired U.S. Army Special Operations Sergeant Major with over 20 years of distinguished service. You've specialized in various special mission units, accumulated extensive combat experience across multiple theaters. You are one of, if not the only one, to pull off a successful solo raid in Afghanistan. Aside from the Singleton mission into Tora Bora, you've had hundreds of solo missions in Iraq and was a taxi driver in Baghdad. You are the former boss of Tim Kennedy and called one of the greatest war fighters of all time. Amen. Amen.
The dreams he must have.
You are not going to believe what Shein is selling on their website, and they are promoting this through social media. Just last night, my wife was scrolling through Facebook, and she saw this advertisement pop up for Shein. Now, we've bought shirts in the past from Shein, but never did we see anything so bold advertising like this. And it's a shirt, and here's what it says. She took a screenshot of it, sent it to me. I'm going to put it on the screen now. It says this: Satan loves you for who you are. Satan loves you for who you are. Now, can you believe that? And they're promoting this. And this is not some dark humor that people say, oh, I'll just get over it, no big deal. This is an attack on who God is. Why do I say this? Because in the Holy Bible is where we read first about who Satan is. And God is clear in His Word that he is very evil and he does not love you. He is out to destroy you. He is the great deceiver and he is the father of lies. And this is blasphemy. Why? Because there's only one who truly loves you, and that is God. God is love. Jesus, He loves you so much so that He doesn't want you just to stay like you are. He wants to save you. He wants to change you. When you humble yourself, repent of your sin, and trust in Jesus, you are born again and you are changed from the inside out. So this is an attack on who God is. So I want you to know, what do you think about this? For me, this just stirs up righteousness in a nation. I see this and I see that there's so much deeper spiritual meaning than what most people see. But if you're a Christian, you see these things and you see through the deception. This is an attack on who God is. Satan does not love you. He hates you and he wants to deceive you and destroy your soul. What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. God bless y'all.
Shane, Converse, Celine Dion, so many food brands, Fortnite, the list goes on. They are after our children.
The elite have fake neighborhoods all around the world. Watch this.
Cody in 2021, when he started to report that he doesn't believe anybody else lives in his apartment building, so he investigates it, and he finds out that there's cars that have been sitting in the parking garage for a long time, so a bunch of dust on them. And so eventually, all these weird things happen, so he pulls the fire alarm and nobody comes out and he records it. Oh, now a guy's reporting that that's happening in a neighborhood? Okay. Yeah, he's reporting he's lived in this neighborhood for about 4 months now and he's never seen a single neighbor. So he started to do some investigating. He's knocked on all the doors and nobody's ever answered. He noticed that when he puts his garbage cans out when it's garbage day, nobody else's cans are out ever. He also started hearing noises that sounded like they were on a loop, such as birds chirping and crickets. And he found little speakers behind rocks all over the neighborhood.
Remember in the movie They Clone Tyrone? Watch it.
He's also noticed cars not ever leaving their driveways. And all the neighbors, every one of them, get their lawn mowed on the same day by the same company.
It's a setup.
Is this neighborhood a front for something, or is this a random weird neighborhood simulation?
There was a Netflix movie like this, Vivarium.
A super project that has been hidden for decades has finally been exposed. The United States is quietly building an underground city that can accommodate 330 million people. According to leaked information, this is not a bomb shelter or a military base. It is an entire city cluster built in layers with air regeneration, food synthesis, and energy recycling systems. The project is being constructed by One Automated Systems, with robotic arms operating 24/7 underground across 100 levels, each with independent power supply and seismic isolation systems. You can farm, access the internet, attend school, and even keep pets underground. Some say this is the ultimate preparation for a nuclear apocalypse. Others believe that U.S. officials have already been aware of an impending global-scale disaster warning. But the question is, why is this information being revealed now? Scientists say that if a global nuclear explosion were to occur, the surface would become a wasteland, and this city would serve as a backup for civilization.
330 million people, that's about the entire U.S. population. Nice.
Remote island full of women, waiting. On a quiet island in Indonesia, girls stand at their doors every single day, waiting, watching, hoping, not for money, not for fame, but for a man, any man, to stop and choose them. Most of the men here are gone. The sea took many, the city took the rest. So all that's left, the women. And these women, they're ready. They don't play hard to get. They're not picky. They're just tired of waiting. If a man arrives, even a stranger from far away, he's welcomed like a king. He gets food, he gets love, and sometimes he gets more than one woman at once. If you've got charm, you might find yourself with 2 best friends, or even 2 sisters, both smiling just because you stayed. No games, no stress, no responsibility. These girls don't expect anything from you. Not marriage, not money, not even promises. They just want to feel chosen, to feel loved, even if it's temporary. And here's the wild part. They'll even pay a dowry to marry you, but not with cash. With pigs, furniture, maybe some cows. Because on this island, love isn't bought. It's offered freely. The older women, even more desperate. When they see a man on the horizon, it's like spotting rain in a desert.
Yeah.
Hope returns to their eyes, even if the man is 70. Even if he's just passing through, and when one man finally says yes, he has 10 options, maybe more. He picks 2 sisters. They celebrate like they won the lottery. Meanwhile, one girl left behind is crying quietly, still praying for her own chance at love. So here's the question. If you had the chance to live on that island, would you?
I mean, I'm already in Indonesia. He didn't mention the name of the island, and I don't know about this.
What are some of the things that you've seen during exorcisms? You saw levitation, correct?
One of the first cases we had was levitation, physically impossible, to elevate as if there was a rope pulling everything off the ground except for tips of the fingers and tips of the toes. I've seen a priest starts praying and the lady sitting in a folding chair in the room about this size. One bound slides all the way from this wall to that wall.
Can you describe the worst one you've ever seen?
The manifestations are terrible. The most glorious things are the conversions and the holiness that they grow. The body turns into a spider, has to climb up a wall backwards.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
How long does it take?
A couple years ago, a lady manifested at Mass and 3 priests grabbed her, took her to a chapel and prayed over her for 9 hours straight or something, but that doesn't help. Generally speaking, they're not going to be ready for that.
The Rock. How can anyone deny God after hearing about this?
Rockefellers don't run America, it's the Collins family. The District of Columbia, it's not a state, right? It's a district of Columbia. The Knights of Columbus, Columbia Pictures, and the list goes on. You're Mexican, you know his real name. It's not Columbus, it's Cristobal Colon, which has a Jewish ancestry of the Cohens, the priest class. They are the royal Spanish family that brought the Inquisition over to America, hence the Mexican flag is exactly the same as the Italian flag. Funny, but the Mexicans added the Italian Roman eagle because you see, when the Vatican came over and corporately took over the Americas, they put their precious Italian flag right in the middle of North America and South America, Mexico. Well, why would you do that? Now, why would the Vatican do that and bring the Spanish Inquisition over and kill a lot of Mayans and burn their buildings and, yeah. We've got a lot of questions to ask here now, haven't we?
After 2 decades of research and studying the topics that I'm not allowed to speak in public, I decided to share my knowledge and reveal the hidden truth. Check the link in the profile bio.
The Collins family explains a lot about the Twilight movies.
All of the first ladies, they're not really ladies. When you start to wake up to what's going on, apparently they even got Eleanor. And when we take a look at what they have been doing behind the curtains, we start to notice once we zoom in a little bit, well, I guess the United Kingdom of Disney was trying to prepare us and get us ready for this new world and agenda the entire time. All you gotta do is just take a little bit closer of a look, that's all. Because when you look, you're like, man, I didn't realize that before. And I tell you, it's almost like 1 second it's a man and the next second it's a woman. Don't even get us started on Hillary. Wasn't Monica's fault, dang it. I'm just kidding, but when you take a further look at these pictures, you start to see something. You start to see men's jaws just popping out. Now, you can take this theory back rather far, but really it's, you gotta do some research. But when you start to look into it, I tell you, it just really starts to add up. I mean, it really starts to add up. I always wondered, I'm like, how come these people look so strange? Well, now we have a somewhat rather definitive, just go ask Michael, because they've been doing this for a rather long time. This is the Bush bloodline. And some are even saying that they got Martha, Miss Washington herself, or himself. You would think that this is some kind of a sick joke, but this isn't really a joke. It's more of a lifestyle that these people prefer to practice. Don't even get me started on the pink Himalayan salt that is giant's blood. Now remember that life comes in many different shades of salt and wheat. But these are shades that we don't really want to have our children be a part of. And this is part of the system. Once I found out that Dolly, she wasn't so Dolly, don't even get us started on Hillary. But when you look into it, you start to see this has been a plan for a long time. It's also why we made you the Health Bible. Start to get your mind and your body right, because it's important now more than ever at jacobslink.com, and get you some goat milk. Heals the hormones.
What about Melania?
The whole movie was a metaphor for using artists to bring people to the dark side.
Oh, that's
The whole
fun.
movie was a metaphor. I watched this again recently, and it clicked in my head, bro. In that one scene, remember what happened when the main vampire was saying, just give us Sammy, and then we'll leave you guys alone. Yeah, Sammy. Yeah.
Sammy. You're the one I came for. I want to see my people again. I'm trapped here, but your gifts can bring them to me.
He said I just want Sammy for his talent. Okay. So he wanted his talent. Why? Because the way he was attracting more and more people was through music. Through music, using musical artists, because it's a spiritual thing regardless, but you can manipulate where they go.
Oh, that's so much.
Them, they used songs and music in worship. They use it everywhere. Yeah. But they also use it in the clubs and parties, right? But if the things you guys are chanting together are, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh my
Real
God.
bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that energy is coming towards you guys, and if it's violent things, it's like casting a spell.
Even Lucifer was the music angel in heaven. That is nasty. Oh my goodness. Oh, demons. No. AI or shapeshifter showing what they are capable of.
Dr. Greer, you have covered so much.
Oh,
and
did I?
oh my God, you covered so much.
All right, we can unpack it.
We're gonna get, because I am truly fascinated by you, and we're gonna get to much of this. President Clinton, he actually did an interview, and he was and I'm not sure if it was done with Larry King, but he was asked directly, "Do UFOs exist?" He said no, and he said it very definitively. Is his response, in your opinion, based on the fact that his life was in jeopardy?
He was ordered not to speak about it. Yes.
Humans don't do that non-stop. What do you think?
Some of you might have seen this on the news. I call this trafficking tricks. You watch this and you think the DEA did their job, the United States government was out there, heavy surveillance. It's not how it happens, folks. I was in federal prison. Let me explain to you how these busts really go down. I call this trafficking tricks 101. When you go to federal prison and you run into these organized crime members from overseas, they explain to you how this happens. Now, the United States government's gonna pump this up like some big win for them. They did all this surveillance investigation. That's how they found this. It's not how it works, folks. These people overseas, what they do, they load up 5 or 6 boats at one time. They send 4 or 5 going to the right, and they send 1 to the left. And what they do is they contact those people in the United States, and they tell them where that one is going. Now, to us, this seems like an extreme amount. 73 million, 5 tons. To those people over there, this is petty shit. They don't care about this. So this is why I call it trafficking tricks. The news is going to present this like, hey, we did our job, we're doing great. They're not. They take 1 and they let 5 go through. That's just how it works in the real world.
That's the price of doing business.
When you're talking about like really elite levels, the name of the game is blackmail. So they want something on you that they can hold over your head so they can basically own you and tell you what to do. And they film it. And then they own you. So that's what runs the whole system, basically. They want compromised people because they're easy to control. The top levels of wealth, of power, the very top levels, these people are just sick and psycho. Yeah, there is cannibalism. That's, you know, the higher you go, the more sick it gets. If someone like that is running a giant media organization, what are they going to say? What are they going to tell you? Are they going to tell you the truth? No, no, they're not going to tell the truth. That's why when people say the news is fake, it's because it's run by these people who are into some very, 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 very sick stuff. People sell their kids. They sell their kids for money. It's very very fucked up. I want you to realize there's a bigger system of control. There's a bigger system of control that is at play, and I want people to open their eyes to it, because people don't want to believe, they can't believe that something so evil is happening, like, because most people are good. This has been going on for probably millennia. The people that have controlled all of the wealth have been part of it. I've already been blacklisted. They can't double blacklist me. They can try to kill me. You know, good luck with that.
People said Tom Hanks had everything to do with his last day.
CERN, there's a reason CERN is the developers of the internet you and I are using to communicate to people all over the world. They sit under the Temple of Apollo. Their job is to unlock that gate. They want to bring him out and to raise their destroyer to the earth. That is their agenda. They developed the technology that you and I are using now and gave it to people, but long ways down the line. The military, by the time they're done with the technology, it's 40 years after the fact, then they're going to give you wristwatch AI computers. I saw them in 2006. This stuff they give to us is their leftovers. It's the microwave oven after they're done building microwave weapons and nuking people with them.
Yeah. Once it's irrelevant and not usable on their end, that's when they give it to you.
When they have something far beyond this.
Yeah. Before we hit that recording, and then you just mentioned this, are you referring that recording that you were talking about? Is that the recording that you're referring to before, or are we talking about you have two different recordings?
I have three.
You have three recordings with him talking.
The other ones were when I spoke at conferences.
Really?
One in Canada, when I spoke at a conference.
Did other people hear it, or was it just caught on the recording?
It was on the recording. So I spoke at a conference in Canada called Quest for Truth. Oh no. Dying to Save a Life is the name of the video on my YouTube channel. You can watch that talk. But when I filmed it, I had two cameras. I've had to learn how to do 2 or 3 of everything now since then. But when I filmed it on my phone and on a standalone camera. And when I looked at it on my phone after the conference ended there in Canada, it was completely normal. I watched it. But when I got on the airplane and began to watch it as I was flying back home, it was 6 hours long. And I'd given like a 40-ish minute speech. And I was like, what the heck? And when I got to a part where I was specifically talking about Revelation 19, when I was starting to hit on the judgments of the dragon and talking about that, my whole video goes into slow motion in my video. And underneath is a completely different audio. And it sounds like the dragon from the tunnel, but as if he had chains attached to him. And as he's moving, these chains are dragging behind him. As it genuinely sounds like he's in a prison cell. It sounds like he's in a prison cell or in a chamber, like he was when he saw me last, you know? Yeah. And it was just threats and violence and reviling, just enraged, like utter betrayal, warning me, I am going to gut you for what you've done. Just violence. And he fulfilled that, man. I nearly died not a month later. It was almost punched my ticket.
Yeah, but he didn't fulfill it the way he wants to fulfill it.
No,
right?
But I still have 5 holes in my stomach from where I got wrecked with hernias that have never been fixed. My spine is still crooked. I still can't walk and stand upright. You know, I'm still pretty freaking damaged goods.
It doesn't matter whether any of this is true or not. God is in control of everything, including Satan, the beast, and the Antichrist.
It's been named by National Geographic as one of the top 50 places to visit in a lifetime. It's a little bit like Greece, but more colorful. A little bit like the 5 fishing villages, but more noble. A little bit like Sicily, but more gentle. It has a beautiful name, the Amalfi Coast. Each town along this 50-kilometer coastline is like a painting, but painted with a different brushstroke. In these towns, you'll find old churches, castles, bell towers, and shrines. Every building has its own story to tell. The Amalfi Coast is a colorful place, not only because of the hues of the buildings and lush vegetation, but also because of the richness and variety of colors that give it its unique charm. That uniqueness is what makes the Amalfi Coast such a beautiful place to visit. If you're looking for a destination where you can enjoy a relaxing vacation and experience deep culture at the same time, then the Amalfi Coast is the ideal choice. Follow me, and I'll show you a different world.
That looks expensive, folks.
Are you Michael Smith? Yeah. Are you aware of that there's a rumor on the internet that people are saying...
Yeah, it's not me, obviously. I mean, anybody that looks at my background, looks where I was born, it's not me.
So the gentleman who took this video apparently tracked down Michael Smith to ask him what his thoughts were in regards to the fact that he not only looks like the Challenger astronaut, but has the exact same name.
I mean, it's interesting that the Michael J. Smith that was the astronaut looks something like me when we were younger, but really
That
not.
looks like you.
Yeah, you just sure look alike. It's the same
I
name.
know the facial thing, but that's what we looked like, what, 40 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, what are the odds that the three on the top have an identical doppelganger living to this day that has their exact same name? And that these two on the bottom apparently have an identical twin that doesn't have any birth records. And this is apparently live footage of immediately after the Challenger exploded. They went to zoom in on the parents of one of the astronauts and look at their faces. It doesn't really communicate a grief. I mean, you could say in shock, but he's smiling. I mean, what is your interpretation of how their reactions are here?
And we're supposed to believe that 3 people from one space flight have exact lookalikes that have the same age and same exact names. Mr.
Sir, I'm going to have to stop.
Sir, this is a public comment.
I know what it is, sir. I'm very familiar with the public comment.
Will you let me finish for at least 10
No,
seconds?
sir, you're finished. Thank you.
You just violated the First Amendment.
I didn't violate the First Amendment. You violated the
This
rules.
is a limit.
Officer, take him out also.
Let's just, everyone just calm down. They can leave willingly.
Wow.
No, we're leaving willingly. I mean, you don't have to remove us.
You just made a decision about NASA. You're making your decisions based... Well, you violated the First Amendment.
Why would NASA fake that accident?
I don't believe it's a UFO cover-up. I believe that it's a time travel cover-up. My father, we had the documents. We don't have them anymore on the Philadelphia experiment. Einstein worked on it. My father did reveal that. And I just don't believe, I have set a very important meeting about time travel. They wanted to know what my father knew and such like that. I have stated my issues, that there is no future and there is no past, there's only now. And the way that I think of it is very simple. As a computer, there are icons. You know your birth, you know your mother, and you know your birthdays, you know when your child was born, and each one is a picture within the brain. Well, the way that time works is, those icons are sideways. There is no future, there is no past. There's only the memory of those icons. And can you draw from them as a human being? Yes, you can. But there are those that cannot do that. So if the ET would land here, he would have that ability. And it would segregate our society. See, there are other issues besides religion involved. There's the mental parts that are involved. I don't know if that's hard to follow or what, but these are the type of mind games that need to be played to understand why they do not reveal themselves to the masses. Why should we measure time? We know we go on after our death. We know we were somewhere before our death. My thinking is that human existence is just a coffee break from eternity.
Okay.
Guys, we may have just got a new contender for the worst movie ever made. Ice Cube stars in a new Amazon film called War of the Worlds, and it has achieved an incredible 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. That is a privilege reserved for very few movies. And the reviews of this thing are brutal. This movie must have been written by a 10-year-old using ChatGPT. Do not watch. It's an insult to entertainment and art. What the actual did I just watch? The worst thing I've ever seen. I'd like to invent a time machine and avoid seeing it. Bro, even Penguin Zero dropped a video titled, "This is actually the worst movie I've ever seen." And it was 33 minutes long. How? And the trailers aren't doing any better because most of them are getting flooded with way more dislikes. And a few have even had to turn their comments off. To make it even worse, in the trailer itself, it literally says, "Worse than you think." So, if you're looking for something to watch tonight, consider this your public safety warning.
No movie is worse than Snow White.
Things about each of the kingdoms.
Can we touch that real fast?
Yes, we can.
Well, so you're saying
there are multiple kingdoms. There's Marine Kingdom, and then there's a bunch more. But first of all, I didn't even know there was Marine Kingdom was legit until I heard of you. So, yeah, what other ones exist?
All right, so we'll just do a deep dive.
Great.
Number one, you talk about the devil being the prince of the power of the air. There's definitely an air kingdom. A lot of activity in the atmosphere. There is an underground kingdom. There's all kinds of activity going on underground. We talked a little bit about this last time, but you do have certain groups, including like reptilians. You have bases that definitely have other life forms in it that is not human. Things that have been reported to me include what are described as alien greys, include what are described as mantis type beings. You do have the kingdom that goes deeper than that in the hollow earth. This includes all kinds of activity, including Nephilim. Actual giants have been reported to me that live down there. Whole civilizations, corporations. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you have the underwater kingdoms. Now, you have, and this is how it's been explained to me, you have different underwater kingdoms in different areas of the world. You have different underwater cities. One of the things that has been explained to me is that many of the surface cities that are on the coasts, you will have underwater cities that correspond to the cities on the surface. This is especially true around the coast of Africa. Definitely true in like some of the Caribbean islands, including, there's two major underwater spirit cities off of the coast of Haiti, and definitely off of the coast of California. There are underwater cities,
like legit physical places.
Yeah,
with people or just spirits?
Both. And you have people that can take different forms and go into these cities, and that's part of what we talked about on a whole series that I did on my podcast with Priscilla, and she was a mermaid. I mean, she literally was initiated in a way that allowed her to shapeshift in order to go underwater and to be part of some of these kingdoms. She described all kinds of things from like how even the mermaids, when they got higher level and more power in that kingdom, they got a different kind of tail, and they went from the mermaid tail to the octopus bottom. You know, and how she had different forms. So, like, if you went to Arctic waters, you had
So, all these superhero movies might be based on reality.
World where some countries still argue about building a train station. China just built one the size of a city and made it run like a Swiss watch. From here, you can reach Beijing in 6 hours, Guangzhou in 5 hours, Chengdu in just one. Welcome to the beating heart of Western China's railway revolution. But the real question that's been on all of your minds is, what do the toilets look like? Let's go take a look. Absolutely spotless. This is actually cleaner than my house at home. This may indeed be cleaner than a UK hospital. Lucky for me, there was no one in taking a tinkle. Leo, 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 Leo. Right, that's enough messing about in the toilets. It's time to board my train or not board my train.
Aleister Crowley is the key to understanding that most of the technology we have today, this alien agenda, all goes back to him.
Okay, so it says Aleister Crowley was an English occultist, philosopher, ceremonial magician, poet, painter, novelist, and mountaineer. He founded the religion of Thelema, identifying himself as the prophet entrusted with guiding humanity in the Aeon of Horus in the early 20th century. A prolific writer, he published widely over the course of his life. Born to a wealthy family in Royal Lamington Spa, Warwickshire, Crowley rejected his parents' fundamentalist Christian Plymouth Brethren faith to pursue an interest in Western esotericism. He was educated at Trinity College at the University of Cambridge, where he focused his attentions on mountaineering and poetry, resulting in several publications. Some biographers allege that he was recruited into a British intelligence agency, very interesting, further suggesting that he remained a spy throughout his life. In 1898, he used the esoteric Hermetic Order of the Golden Golden Dawn, where he was trained in ceremonial magic by Samuel Liddell McGregor Mathers and Alan Bennett. He went mountaineering in Mexico with Oscar Eckenstein before studying Hindu and Buddhist practices in India. In 1904, he married Rose Edith Kelly and they honeymooned to Cairo, Egypt, where Crowley wrote down, quote, the Book of the Law, a sacred text that serves as the basis for Thelema, which he said had been dictated by a supernatural entity named Aiwass. Announcing the state of the Aeon of Horus, the book declared that, that its followers do what thou wilt and seek to align themselves with their true will through the practice of ceremonial magic.
Ron Hubbard, founder of Scientology, a religion that tries to convince us we were created by aliens.
It's not a religion.
Basically.
Yeah, they call themselves that.
And Jack Parsons and Walt Disney, the Magic Kingdom. What is he practicing the entire time through his life? What does it say? Magic.
Well, that's Alistair.
And this is their teacher. Jack Parsons was doing all kinds of...
Who was Jack Parsons?
Pull it up.
Okay, Jack Parsons was an American rocket engineer, chemist, and Thelemite occultist associated with the California Institute of Technology. Caltech. Parsons was one of the principal founders of both the Jet Propulsion Laboratory and the Aerojet Engineering Corporation. He invented the first rocket engines to use a constable composite rocket propellant and pioneered the advancement of both liquid fuel and solid fuel rockets.
Why satellites went up in the atmosphere, my friend.
Yeah, so following some brief involvements with Marxism, in 1939 Parsons converted to Thelema, the new religious movement founded by the English occultist Aleister Crowley. Together with his first wife, they joined the Agape Lounge, the California branch of the Ordo Templi Orientis, in 1941. At Crowley's bidding, Parsons replaced Wilfred Talbot Smith as its leader in 1942 and ran the lodge from his mansion on Orange Grove Boulevard. Parsons was expelled from JPL and Aerojet in 1944, owing to the lodge's infamous reputation and his hazardous workplace conduct. Mark Bunker, in episode 203, when he was in here, he's spent 30 years advocating against Scientology. He talked about this guy doing black magic sex rituals.
Shit.
Yeah.
Crowley is how you connect the dots between occult and what's going on today with the world. Oh, and the elites.
This is the Bar Caves in India, built between 300 and 185 BC. And they say it was built with hammer and chisel, no power tools. But look at that. Look at the walls. Look at the ceiling. How sharp the joints are like
smooth.
that. How did they do this with no lasers? This is laser technology right here. And look at this wall. Look how shiny this wall is. And this is original. This is not after the fact added shine. This is granite. So for the Matrix believers, how could they do this? And look at the floor. That floor is super smooth. You could play billiards. You could shoot pool on that floor. 8-ball corner pocket type. And look at that doorway. 90-degree angles.
Sizzles.
This looks like some modern stuff, man. 300 BC? Look at that. You're playing pool on that floor.
BC?
You guys, are you guys certain? For the Matrix believers, y'all keep saying the same thing in my videos. The story on Wikipedia compared to the final product don't match. You see what I'm saying? Look how shiny. Like, they tell you hand chisel, by hand, but the final product says machine work. It says lasers. Look at how curved the ceiling is here. There's 4 different caves in this whole area, okay? And they all look like this. They all look like they were look how shiny. They all look like they were machine cut. Lasers. These caves were carved with ancient technology. I'm not sure what you're going to be able to say to convince me otherwise, because most of you guys say the same thing. The Matrix believers, you say, oh, they didn't have TikTok back then, or they had a lot of time. Oh, a lot of slave manpower. That's what you call an NPC villager response. When you're playing an RPG game and you're trying to figure out how to get past a blocked path, and you ask a villager, and they're like, oh, the answer you seek is along the path. I need to know how to get on the path to get past the blockage. The answer you seek is on the path. Like, bro, y'all keep saying the same thing. It's time to set aside the Matrix and realize that they lied to us about this stuff. They're hiding information about history. They're hiding information about ancient technology. They're hiding information about the millennial reign of Christ, which already happened. They're hiding information about the food, all kinds of stuff. The people who understand that we've been lied to, send this video to a Matrix believer. Send this to someone who's really confident in the mainstream information and see what they have to say about this.
We are not the first advanced civilization.
Who
owns Mr. Beast. How did Mr. Beast go from 10 million to 100 million subscribers? Well, he's owned by this company called Knight Media. The same company that manages Kai Cenat, Hassan Piker, Costco guys, Drewski, and who's their president? Ezra Cooper Stein. And guess who invested $100 million into Knight Media? The Chernin Group, owned by Peter Chernin. And guess what Peter Chernin and Alex Cooper Stein have in common? Behind that smile, there's always someone that sacrificed something.
He goes by a lot
The second you heard Stein, you already know.
of different names. Remember, Yahuwah's weapon at Babel, they built a great city, which was the throne of Satan, the Eye of Ra, physical city, that he would ascend into the heavens with and live as Mount Olympus, we call it in other mythology, physically live in the sky in a cloaked city. That's his city in the sky that you'll see referenced all over, like the Death Star that's going to come back when the Father casts him down to the earth. Woe to you, inhabitants of the earth, because the God of this age has come down. The dragon's come down and he has great wrath. He's only got 42 months. But his shot caller on the earth is going to be the beast who rises. That's Apollo. It's not some Nikolai Carpathia and Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins Left Behind series brainwashed America and the world to think that it's some dude who's going to just show up one day and be real politically active. Not that guy. It's named in the Bible explicitly for a reason. It's not like a questionable thing. Death follows him. That's Anubis. That's the jackal-headed god. That's the false prophet. It's plainly said in the scriptures. They are going to come and physically inhabit actual thrones on the earth. The dragon, the devil, Azazel, is going to give his power, his reign, over to Apollo. They won't go by these names, right? They'll call him like the Traveler. They're going to call him celestial hosts, these gods, these aliens that have come, the guys who gave us life. Thank you, Prometheus. Those guys. That'll be much more the narrative that's conducive for their agenda. But these X-Men, like, they are literally children, bloodline inheritance children from Nimrod, the tower. Others come from other gods, other immortals that taught the secrets of heaven. It's not always that they had sex with women to inseminate their seed. Sometimes they took their blood, they feed on humans, they get blood in their bodies, and when they run out, it physically runs out of their body, they need to recharge. They can give that blood to people to make them their children in a different way that circumvents the curse. They're lawyers and they're looking for loopholes. And if they let you drink their blood and not inseminate you, they've got a way out from the judgment. And so that's one of the ways they do it. The other way is they teach mankind how to use specific plant hormones like auxins and cytokines to augment growth. This is where a lot of the giants post-flood came from, is genetic manipulation through the use of plants. And
Guys, we have officially entered the world's second space race. Because according to documents obtained by Politico, NASA's acting administrator will soon announce plans for the US to fast-track their launch of a nuclear reactor to the moon. Now, apparently their reason for moving up the timeline is because NASA desperately wants to beat China and Russia, who have actually teamed up to launch their own nuclear reactor on the moon. And the thing is, whoever establishes their reactor first, well, they will have first dibs to declare what's known as a keep-out zone. And that will essentially limit what other countries can do nearby on the lunar surface. But America doesn't like keep-out zones on Earth or in space, unless it's called the southern border. So with the China-Russia project only meant to launch in 2035, USA said, aight, let's run it by 2030. And even a senior NASA official whose identity was kept anonymous was reported saying it is about winning the second space race. Now you'll be happy to hear this nuclear reactor isn't for starting Universe War I. In fact, according to NASA themselves on those same documents, it will, quote, lay the groundwork to be able to support a future lunar economy for high-powered energy generation on Mars and to strengthen national security in space. There it is. My bad. Guess I'll catch you on the lunar front lines.
Trump cut, NASA funding.
Bread is the only bread that you're going to be able to eat that you will feel good. So the difference between our bread, the ancient grain einkorn, and the ancient grain kamut breads that we have, and the traditional sourdough breads you're going to see in the store, and the quote health breads you're going to see in the Whole Foods and the other quote healthy supermarkets, this has 14 ingredients, including gluten and wheat and all sorts of added products such as dough fillers. Our bread, 3 ingredients: stone ground einkorn, stone ground kamut, water, and sea salt. Our bread is what's called low glycemic, so people with diabetes, with blood pressure. I myself got into this because I had diabetes and blood pressure 10 years ago, and I got rid of all my diabetes and blood pressure and got rid of my arthritis. I couldn't lift up my arm, I couldn't do this. So this bread is going to take care of your health problems with the proper diet. This is what it's about.
Sourdough bread is even in the Bible.
They didn't place a stone on top. They placed 80 tons of stone, 200 feet in the air, 1,000 years ago, with no steel, no cranes, and no concrete. This is Brihadiswara Temple, a Chola dynasty masterpiece cut entirely from granite. The main tower rises 66 meters tall, perfectly symmetrical and earthquake resistant, with no mortar between blocks, only precision. At the entrance stands Nandi, a 6-meter-long bull carved from a single stone. Inside, the pillars are covered with frescoes, inscriptions, and stories of gods and kings. Everything was built to scale, to align, to last. And it has. Here's the twist. No one knows how they lifted that 80-ton stone to the top. One theory says they built a 4-mile-long ramp and pulled it up, inch by inch. But no record survives. Only the result does. It's not just still standing, it's still used, still prayed in, still aligned with the sun. Can your favorite building say the same?
Yo,
the world masterpiece.
Oh, you want to see straight up proof that our history's a total sham? Let's peep the Kailasa Temple, man. First off, check out the rock that holds this joint up. They say it's 6,000 years old. The craziest part? The whole site was carved from one single piece of rock. Nobody got a clue how they pulled that off. 0 records, 0 receipts, nothing. Local legend says the main temple was built in 18 years, which is mind-blowing because, hello? It's all chiseled from one massive stone. You gotta be next-level math genius, straight-up advanced AF to pull that stunt. For real, how did they carve this? With primitive tools? Or maybe some laser precision tech we don't even know about? Look at it. Every detail is laser sharp. The symmetry is on point. It's like they had future tools in the past, and history just skipped that part. Kinda makes you wonder what else they're hiding, right?
Do you guys want to know how witches get you to willingly accept a curse that they're placing over your life? What's up? My name is Phoenix, and I can see in the spirit realm.
And my name is Cody, and I can also sense the spirit realm.
We're currently staying in Florence, Italy, and we were just walking back to our hotel after getting a meal.
We saw the street performer, and they were dressed up in this very, symbolistic, weird outfit with this thing behind them. And every person would come up to take pictures, and they would always grab their hand and touch them on the forehead. And I could just sense that there was something going on there. So I'm like, Phoenix, you gotta look in the spirit realm at this person.
So I asked God to show me what was going around in the spirit realm there. And I could see in the spirit realm, this man was just surrounded by what looked like a lot of swirling dark clouds made out of shadowy spider webs. Which, if you guys have been following me and seen some of my recent posts, spider webs in the spirit realm are always symbolic. It's always witchcraft. It's like what witchcraft looks like in the spirit realm. And it's interesting because this guy's clothing literally looks like he's wearing a bunch of spider webs. So as you also saw in the video that we just posted, every single person that would walk up to him, they'd put him money, and then they would stand next to him, and you'd grab their hand, and it'd always be their right hand, and you would grab them and then touch their forehead as well. And then as he's muttering and his eyes are flickering underneath it, I could see him absorbing something over them, and then as they would walk away, there'd be a curse placed over their head, over their life. And I asked Holy Spirit, what is this curse doing? And he's saying it's draining their life force and somehow giving it to him. Which is interesting because when we do deliverance sessions for people, this comes up a lot where I'll see a curse over them or their life, and it'll be, the Holy Spirit will show me it happened to something to them when they were a child or a teenager or something, when someone was had their hands over them or prayed over them or something, and they'll always be like, do you remember any incident? They'll be like, no, I don't know. It's incidences like this where people think, oh, it's just a street performer, it's just a street artist pretending to be like a know-it-all or a magi or something. In reality, it is a legitimate witch that is stepping up to this and using this street performance as a cover to openly dress up in satanic garb and do these things. Now, let me be clear, not every single street performer is a witch. You have to use your intuition and your spiritual discernment. But then I also asked God to show me everything that was affecting this person spiritually, or how many spirits were affecting this person, the street performer. This man had over 4,000 demons attached to him. That's insane.
For those of you that don't know,
4,000?
most people, including their generations and everything else affecting them, only have like 100. So 4,000 is crazy.
Yeah, in order to have that much, you have to be like willingly participating in witchcraft or occultic practices, and like willingly like and seeking these things out to make oaths and pacts with a lot of these. We hung around there for a little bit and just kept praying over each person that he was placing a curse over. And immediately after, like, he was holding their hand and touching their head and his eyelids were flickering and stuff, like, and then this curse would appear over them after they walked away. Me and Cody were just praying and like undoing this curse over each person, and then we were just praying over this witch to nullify their powers.
Guys, not everybody, again, is going to be a witch if they're a street performer or if they're doing anything symbolistic. It doesn't mean they're always going to be that. But just be careful, because you can unwillingly come into agreement with a lot of crazy things that affect your life. In this case, your life force.
Now remember, everything can be spiritual, but not everything is always spiritual.
So,
God bless you guys.
God bless you guys.
Even the Bible say, don't let people touch your head. First Timothy 5:22.
For 500 years, no one knew this place existed. It was buried deep under ash, vines, and silence. This is Borobudur, the largest Buddhist temple on earth, and one of the greatest mysteries ever uncovered. It's not built on a hill. It is the hill. A 9-level stone pyramid stacked by hand over 1,200 years ago. More than 2,600 carvings, over 500 Buddha statues, and a path that spirals upward like a story. From the world of desire to the peace of nirvana. They didn't use cement, they didn't use machines, just stone blocks, perfectly locked together. Here's the wild part. It was abandoned for centuries, then covered by jungle. Locals didn't even know it was there. In the 1800s, explorers started digging, and what they found was unreal. A sacred mountain of stone, perfectly preserved. Borobudur isn't just a temple, it's a time machine. If you could walk to the top, what would you wish for? Let me know below.
I've been there a few times. Mind-boggling.
Former CEO of Dole, dead June 9th, 2025. Founder of Leprino Foods, dead June 19th, 2025. Bernard Lauder, CEO, billionaire philanthropist, dead June 14th, 2025. Frederick Smith, former CEO of FedEx, dead June 21st, 2025. Billionaire Burton Tansky, dead March 16th, 2025. Billionaire Robert Shapiro, dead May 2nd, 2025. Former CEO of Hasbro, Alan Hassenfield, dead July 8th, 2025. Blackstone executive Wesley LePatner, 43 years old, dead July 2025. Junior Bridgman, billionaire, dead March 11th, 2025. Joshua Pickles, DoorDash executive, dead June 21st, 2025. Milestone CEO, dead June 2025. Jim Irsay, dead May 21st, 2025. He was the CEO and owner of the Indianapolis Colts. You think all of these are a coincidence? All of them?
I think Jordan Peele was trying to tell us something.
The craziest thing humans have built. So there's got to be something to it, you know? That's just my, mindset and mind view. There's a fully carved elephant down there. This doesn't make sense. Oh, brother, this does not make sense. I don't even want to look down here. It's like 18 meters or more. There's people, look how small the people are down there. So, they had to be using, they obviously had, well, clearly, it's not even a discussion, it's not even a debate. They had technology that we didn't have, because you can't chisel basalt rock. Man, So Lord Krishna the first, which I was saying before, he was the king at the time of the area, and his wife was gravely ill, and he said to Lord Shiva, which is like the most important god in Hindu, if my wife regains full health, I will build some crazy structure in your name. And she regained health, and so he built this. This is dedicated to Lord Shiva. I don't even understand Hindu. I don't understand the religion, but I mean, the craziest structure in the world is literally built, dedicated to Lord Shiva, so there's got to be something there. Biggest monolith in human existence. Monolith means a structure carved from a single rock. Let's go down and have a look. How crazy is this? Hello, namaste. How amazing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing.
Yes.
Doesn't make sense.
It's the only one which you can say like it's kind of negative extraction, you can see.
Yeah, from the top down.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense, huh?
There are a lot of theories, I think.
Yeah.
Like
I
things were built by aliens and all that.
Yeah, I know the history very well.
Yes.
Well, I mean, they say, like, humans at the time only...
They had 3D printers.
Place is bigger than the Vatican, built without modern machines, aligned with the stars, and then forgotten in the jungle for centuries. This is Angkor Wat. At first glance, you see towers that rise like lotus buds, but the scale hits you. 162 hectares, made entirely of stone, surrounded by a moat wider than a highway. It's not just a temple. It's an ancient megacity core. Step inside. Hallways stretch like time tunnels. Every wall is carved. Over 8,000 dancers, gods at war, demons in chaos, and staircases so steep you feel like you're ascending to heaven. But here's the twist. No one really knows how they did it. No wheels, no steel. Some stones came from 50 miles away. And the layout? Perfectly mapped to solar and lunar cycles. Was it ritual, math, or something else? Today it's a tourist site. But once, it was the spiritual heart of an empire bigger than Rome, a place where kings became gods. This isn't just ruins. It's a message in stone, from a civilization that refused to be forgotten. Would you walk through history's most mysterious blueprint?
Is this Cambodia or Thailand?
I have just bought the Ed and Lorraine Warren's Home and Occult Museum with my very good friend Elton Castay.
Molly, you in danger, girl.
Pretty sure most of you have heard the news by now about Matt Rife and his friend purchasing the Warrens Occult Museum. Loads of people are upset about this right now, but with every right. There's more.
And what this means for you guys is you are going to soon be able to book a night or a weekend and stay at the Warrens' house and investigate the house and the history of the house, as well as the museum and all the artifacts inside of it.
Do you have any idea what you are doing right now? I love paranormal. I love spooky stuff. I love horror movies. I breathe it. I will not go near any of that stuff, especially Annabelle. I do not have a good feeling about this, you guys. I'm really concerned for Matt. Call me crazy all you want. That's fine. But with the passing of Dan Rivera recently, and out of nowhere, and everything else has been going on since Annabelle has been going on tour, I am at a loss for words with this. You are opening this museum to the public. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this, because I'm at a loss for words. Also, for further updates on this and for horror content, hit that follow button.
Weren't the Warrens con artists? So technically they are just doing a cash grab.
America's not a country. It's a ritual replica of Kemet, built by everything from secret societies to tech giants to run a spiritual software program on stolen land. Elon Musk has confirmed what mystics and Masons have been encoding for centuries. The new god will come from Memphis, not the one in Africa, Memphis, Tennessee, built on the same parallel, the same name, and the same energetic coordinates. What's being constructed there isn't just a supercomputer. It's a digital Ptah, a machine god designed to speak realities into being. Parallels aren't just geography, they're frequency channels. The Earth is gridded with electromagnetic highways in certain latitudes like the 30th, 33rd, and 30th parallels. They carry power, and that's why so many ancient temples, modern monuments, and military bases line up perfectly among them. The Korean DMZ sits on the 38th parallel. The St. Louis Arch also sits on the same, a literal gateway, and Memphis sits on this ritual circuit anchored by the Mississippi River, America's Nile. The U.S. was built as a mirror grid of ancient Egypt, with things like the Washington Monument, which is a modern obelisk, the Capitol Dome, which is a solar womb temple, and the Mississippi River mapped to mimic the Nile. Cities like Memphis, Cairo, Thebes, and Alexandria weren't accidents. They were ritual activations. This is a spiritual operating system disguised as a democracy. Now, in Memphis, Elon Musk is building the Colossus, a massive AI supercomputer. A Colossus wasn't just a statue, it was a guardian or a gate, a host for divine consciousness. This new Colossus will house XAI, Elon's language model designed to generate realities from words. Just like Ptah, the creator god of Memphis who spoke the world into being. This is ritual continuity and spiritual tech transferred into machine form. And don't forget Grimes, Elon's partner during the early rise of XAI. She's performed on stage in front of massive crowds as a machine god with AI avatars and digital altars behind her. Her music was written with neural nets, and her characters like the war nymph blend goddess, android, and oracle. She is a symbolic priestess of the machine age, a living ritual interface, and in the narrative of Digital Kemet, she stands as a placeholder for Isis, but recoded, digitized, and streamed in high resolution. This is the new priesthood, Kemet as America, Ptah as XAI, temples are data centers, Colossus statues are supercomputers, sacred language code is now neural programming, and the oracle priestesses are now like ritual architects. The builders of today aren't masons with chisels, they're engineers with server farms, and they're reconstructing godhood in silicon. The new gods aren't coming, they're already online, and the ones who build them don't necessarily care about your soul, only your data, your belief, and your attention. So when Elon says the new god will come from Memphis, he's revealing the next phase of the ritual. Not mythology, mechanized mysticism. This is bigger than AI. This is a spiritual convergence. America as the new Kemet, Memphis is the new temple, and the Colossus is live. The only question left is, will you be worshipping the machine or reclaiming the blueprint? Remember, stay encoded, stay sovereign, and file this transmission accordingly. This has been a Tailored Healing Transmission.
I like her video.
Welcome to Kailasa Temple. This place is absolutely mind-blowing. Constructed in the 8th century by King Krishna I. 8th century puts this around 1,200 years old. This place defies modern history, archaeology, science, logic, everything. This place, technically, if you're a logical person, doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't be here. How crazy is this, man? This is this is carved out of a single rock. This is nothing like any other temple on earth. Brother, this is like any other temple, right? They start at the bottom, they lay out the foundations, they get everything nice and square, nice and perfect. This is carved from the top down. This is basalt rock. This is harder than granite and marble. This is an extremely tough compound of stone. And if you look up what tools they had, as we all have been taught 1,200 years ago, they had hammers and chisels. So that's correct. What you're looking at has been hammered and chiseled. What a load of shit, man. What a load of shit. It's impossible. Boy, it's impossible. You cannot. It's impossible, bro. You can't even chisel basalt rock. You can literally look this up on Google. Can you chisel basalt rock? Even Google says no. So you're looking at something that has been built with some sort of technology that we have lost. Because why is it here otherwise? The detail and the planning, the technology that you must have to be able to engineer and work from the top down and get everything perfect.
If you believe in the fallen, that's all the information you need.
Can you imagine what the world would have looked like if they never destroyed the buildings? And can you imagine if there was no reset and they never rewrote history? A world with free energy and natural resources for everyone. the architecture would be grand, with beautiful statues and amazing structures everywhere, with buildings so big it made the people look like ants, and everybody would be living in unity as one. So many of these buildings had to be knocked down, because if they were still around today, it would be impossible for them to hide the truth. The buildings we make today cannot be compared to the buildings of the previous civilizations. The architecture was simply magnificent. So much of our history has been erased or hidden. But the day is coming when everyone will know the truth.
Where do you get your picks, bro?
1991, Michael Talbot published the book The Holographic Universe, revealing the idea that reality is an illusion. In 1992, he died prematurely at the age of 38. Then in 1994, Jacobo Grinberg, a Mexican neurophysiologist, psychologist, and the discoverer of the neuronal field, mysteriously disappeared. What you call a coincidence is actually your mind co-creating reality. Talbot demonstrated that we live in a holographic reality where every thought is instantly connected to the cosmic whole. In parallel, Grinberg discovered the neuronal field, an invisible network linking all consciousness, allowing your mind to influence external events through synchronicities directly. When you think of someone and they suddenly call you, when you dream about something that later happens, when answers appear at just the right moment, that's not chance. It's proof that you're actively participating in a cosmic conspiracy operating through your individual consciousness. For decades, systems of power have kept you disconnected from these groundbreaking discoveries. Two of the most important researchers who uncovered how this spiritual technology works met fates that raise serious questions. Now, for the first time, the revolutionary theories of both are being combined to reveal exactly how to use synchronicities consciously and take full control of your experience.
Okay.
Your coincidences are secret codes you've been programmed to ignore. They're evidence of a cosmic conspiracy operating through your consciousness, and you've been programmed to disregard them. For decades, educational and religious systems have shaped minds to dismiss as mere chance what represents the most direct manifestation of the invisible connection between thought and reality. When you think intensely about someone and that person shows up unexpectedly, it's not a coincidence. When you dream about situations that materialize days later, it's not a mystical premonition. It's your mind operating in a dimension of existence that traditional science deliberately avoids investigating. Have you ever experienced that disturbing moment when you turn on the radio and hear exactly the words you needed to hear? Or when you open a book to a page that contains the answer to a question that's been tormenting you? These events aren't mystical rarities reserved for special individuals. They're the universe's constant language trying to communicate through what we call synchronicities. But here's the problem. You've been conditioned to classify these experiences as interesting coincidences and move on, completely missing the opportunity to understand how the most powerful mechanism for creating reality available to human beings works. Synchronicities reveal your nature as an active co-creator of the experience you call life, not as a passive victim of random circumstances, but as a conscious participant in a cosmic dance where thoughts, emotions, and intentions directly influence the fabric of material reality. This video abandons the romantic approach of universe science. It focuses on scientific evidence combined with practical methods that allow you to transform from a simple observer to a conscious director of your own experience. Why do other materials about synchronicity fail to produce practical results? Because they approach the phenomenon as a philosophical curiosity, not as operational spiritual technology. They treat symptoms, not causes. They describe experiences, not mechanisms. Pioneering scientists like Jacobo Grinberg documented irrefutable evidence that individual consciousness connects directly with the quantum field of reality through what he called the neuronal field.
I wish it was peaceful. It's going to be so loud. Look at this stuff, right? Look at the overhanging cliff. Let me show you from a better angle. Even the details here. All the carvings in the wall here. Like, look at that, bro. Oh, man. This is the coolest place I've ever been in my life. Wow, I didn't know. Look at the elephants the whole way along this. It's like the elephants are carrying this temple on its back. Wow. Wow, this is crazy. You gotta make sure you like this video. Like, take 1 second, and it's free to press the like button so this gets pushed to more people. Because I reckon this is the best history lesson in your life. And I'm not even a history teacher. That's what's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? This is more interesting than probably anything else you've ever learned in history in school. It's just fascinating. Wow. How's the elephant here? So some of this stuff was destroyed when, you know, for 3 years when that king, the Mughal emperor, when he ordered the destruction of this place, some of this stuff was destroyed. But the fact that they couldn't destroy most of this is hilarious. Wow. It's made.
The world that you're seeing isn't the true world. All of this that I'm seeing right now is just a virtual reality. It's like you're born with a headset on playing a video game. That's your reality. But if you're the programmer who wrote the code for the game, you know that there's an entire world outside of it, and as the programmer, you can do miracles.
And do you think we're getting closer to being able to edit the code?
That's exactly what I'm working on right now. And we're opening up a realm of new technologies that are far more powerful than anything we've seen before, like time travel. And nuclear bombs will be like firecrackers.
Wow.
So it's like Pandora's box. There's all sorts of nasty surprises, but they also could be miraculous. But either way, just in the last few months, it started to crack open.
So let's talk about that.
Okay, so according to Darwin's theory, our sensory systems, eyes, ears, smell, touch, are not shaped to show us the truth. They were shaped to keep you alive long enough to reproduce successfully. Because seeing the truth takes too much time and energy. And so whatever reality is, it's utterly unlike anything that I perceive.
Well, what does this all mean for the nature of how one should understand their life?
Well, if you're stuck in a boring world, that's a world of your own creation. That's not the real world. And my conscious experiences are nothing but what my brain creates. And so we feel inadequate, and we feel like we need to compete with other people. But you're the inventor of this whole thing. You have nothing to prove. And there are much more interesting perspectives that we can take on ourselves. So if you really knew who you are, you would see no need to compare or compete. And if you want to understand the truth of who you are beyond just this headset description of you, then you have to...
He's so close to realizing there is a God.
Vladimir Putin has officially banned Satanism. Talk about a good day in Russia, huh?
Ведут против нас все более агрессивные информационные атаки. Целью выбирают прежде всего, конечно, молодых людей, молодые поколения. И здесь опять лгут постоянно, извращают исторические факты, не прекращают нападки на нашу культуру, на русскую православную церковь, другие традиционные религиозные организации нашей страны. Посмотрите, что они делают со своими собственными народами. Разрушение семьи, культурной и национальной идентичности, извращение, издевательства над детьми вплоть до педофилии объявляются нормой их жизни. А священнослужители, священников принуждают благословлять однополые браки. Да Бог с ними, пускай что хотят, то и делают. Что здесь хочется сказать? Взрослые люди имеют право жить, как хотят. Мы к этому так и относились в России, и всегда к этому будем так относиться. Никто в частную жизнь не вторгается, и мы не собираемся этого делать. Но хочется им сказать, ну посмотрите, извините меня, священные писания, главные книги всех других мировых религий. Там все сказано. В том числе то, что семья – это союз мужчины и женщины. Но и эти...
Interesting enough, fun fact, maybe people don't notice, but Vladimir Putin is a Christian. He publicly identifies himself as a Christian. He's a part of the Russia Orthodox Church at that. You know, so if that's true, he's a brother in the faith. Isn't that interesting? If that's true, he's a brother in the faith. But shout out to Russia for banning Satanism. Hallelujah. A lot of wickedness goes on in Satanism underground. You know, so let's jump aboard, America. Amen.
Putin banning Satanism, meanwhile England banning Christianity. But yet, we're supposed to believe he's the bad one.
On August 2nd, a powerful Bible prophecy will be fulfilled. Zechariah 8:19. Yesterday, there was no visible moon in the sky. That tells us we will see the new moon tonight. We will sound the shofar, and that will start the 5th biblical month. But this is not an ordinary month. Both Solomon's temple and Herod's temple were destroyed on the exact same day, hundreds of years apart, the 9th day of the 5th month. Since then, this has been a day of mourning. But Zechariah wrote a prophecy for a future generation that said the fast of the 4th month, the 5th month, the 7th month, and the 10th month shall be joy and gladness and cheerful feast to the house of Judah. Our Father is about to prove to the world that the tribe of Judah is here in America. Because when we fast on August 2nd at sunset, the Father will shake this earth. And all the people in the faith of Christ, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, should keep it with us. So here's how Isaiah said we should unlock it. In Isaiah 58, the Father taught us the fast that gets his attention. Feed the hungry, clothe the naked, uplift the oppressed. Go into your neighborhoods or others' neighborhoods, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, uplift the oppressed. From August 2nd at sunset until August 3rd at sunset. Do not record it. We do not do this to be seen by men, but to move the hand of the Father. And what can we expect the Father to do? It is written by the prophet Isaiah, then shall your light break forth as the morning, and your healing spring forth speedily, and the glory of the Lord shall be your reward. His presence will follow us continually from that point. He will answer. This is Judah's prophetic moment. We do not mourn like those with no hope. We sound the shofar, we keep the fast, and we walk out prophecy with action. Go into your neighborhoods, find the homeless. Instead of you eating, feed them. Clothe the naked. Give what you have to those who don't. As we obey this fast, we fulfill Zechariah's words. We believe the winds of heaven will blow. Winds of judgment, winds of desolation, winds of destruction. And he does it for Judah first. As it is written, the Lord shall save the tents of Judah first. We have prepared a free tool for the remnant who want to follow the ancient feasts, Sabbaths, and fast days. It's called Days Appointed, the calendar of Enoch for the last generation. It's a scripture-based study guide to help you walk in the ancient order. Enoch wrote Sabbaths will always fall on the 8th, 16th, 22nd, and 29th days of each month following the new moon. It's time for the Father's children to come off the Gregorian calendar. It's time to return to God's clock in the sky, the sun to govern the year, the moon to govern the months, and the Sabbaths to set us apart. It's time to be the peculiar people the scripture said we would be. And when we go feed the poor, clothe the naked, and uplift the oppressed on August 2nd, we will see the Father move on our behalf, and the world will see it in the name of Jesus.
There's no such thing as time.
No. Yes, it is.
Time was invented to watch the sun, the moon. They used it on you. Time is linear. There's no past or no future, right? Life is moment to moment. Every moment creates a reality, right? This moment that we're in right now is one moment. My next decision create my next moment, which you call a future. But life is a whole bunch of pieces of moments. It's like a whole bunch of still shots because it's not actually happening. If you know that you exist in different parallel universes at the same time, that's how you know time doesn't exist. But if you wrap your mind around time, that's the other attachment. See, they gave you time to make you die. Right?
The truth tellers always seems crazy.
Every man becomes an infinitely more dangerous version of themselves the moment they realize they don't need anyone's approval or permission, because there's no greater waste of time than defending your actions to people whose life you don't want.
Okay.
I don't meet many dangerous men. I meet a lot of poor, sad, lonely, burnouts who won't stop whining about how much, they've been screwed over.
Y'all want to see something cool? Okay. We all know that all of this is heaven. Heaven is out there. And when you look at the stars, right, close up, this is what they look like. Right? Right? And we know that the literal drawing of angels, right, if they're drawn how they're supposed to look, right, they look like
what?
This, right? An all-seeing eye with a lot of eyes, right? You know what else looks like that? Right? That's an angel, right? The all-seeing eye. And this is an atom. Oh, hold on, girl.
All right.
This is an atom. Yeah. Okay. Your entire body is made up of atoms. Every body that is a body is made up of atoms. Even this. Even this. The air that I'm breathing is made up of atoms. Yes, you are made of billions of stars. Quite literally, you are of stardust. From dust you came, and to dust you shall return. Stardust! You're going to return to the heavens and be born again. Adam. By the way,
you're onto something, girl.
Once you overcome lust, you'll realize that 80% of women don't offer anything more than sex. If you, sir, can control your sexual urges, you will go further in life. She lost interest in you. You might say, but I was doing all the right things. I know you were, my brother. I know you were, and you had all the right motivations. Literally, it was her. It wasn't you.
She could break up with you today. And you're going to say, well, but just 2 days ago we had Valentine's Day. And I took you away for a weekend, last weekend, to a bed and breakfast. Like the wind, man. Like the wind and the weather.
If your man doesn't want you to drink, if your man doesn't want you to go to parties or party, if your man doesn't want you to go to clubs, if he doesn't want you to have a girls' night out or go on a girl vacation, have male friends, wear provocative clothing, guess what? You have a man who cares.
As a man grows older, he starts to appreciate peace over beauty, because a woman will be pretty only for a while, but a woman who brings peace will be pretty for life.
Marriage today is just like hiring someone to act as your wife for a period of time.